Hello?
Oh,
Okay, I can hear you now.
hello.
All right, so what are we talking about?
I mean, we can discuss a couple of topics, and I can list them down, and then we can go one by one.
Hmm. Okay.
Thoughts? Do you have any to start off with? Number one.
Um, so you are in agreement with Mista that there's only one optimal strategy. I mean, for RTS, Mista says that there's one optimal strategy. Do you agree with that?
Let me just write this down. Optimal strat. All right. So you are referring to him saying that there's only one optimal strat. I don't think he said that. Like,
He's saying
so
there's one optimal, not
yeah.
one optimal
Okay.
strat, one optimal.
Okay. So you have to look at it this way. AOM is super asymmetrical, right?
Hmm.
The same matchup can be played differently on the same map depending on the seed, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yep.
this makes it so that the optimal strat changes based on the map and the matchup each time.
I agree.
It's you as a player who have to recognize these things and utilize them by doing the most optimal strat based on the map.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. But
That's what Mista's
do you
saying.
think? No, but this is what I'm saying,
Okay,
and I don't
go.
know if maybe I didn't wasn't clear about it, but you tell me, okay?
Okay.
I think, yes, the map is important. Map plays a role. The seed plays a role as well, and the matchup plays a role. Yeah, all of those things play a role.
Mm-hmm.
But an individual's inherent skill and strengths and weaknesses also play a role, right? Do you agree or disagree?
So you're saying skill and player playstyle, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, let's just say play style. Let's
Okay,
put that in.
playstyle and prefer. Like, what does that have to do with what's optimal, though? Is what I'm trying. Is what I'm thinking.
Because optimal is going to be like not every player is going to be able to execute the same strategies in an optimal way, right? So, for
Mm-hmm.
example, let me give you an example. Okay,
Okay.
let's say that you're playing Poseidon versus um, I'll just take ISIS for matter, right?
Okay.
Um, let's say Mosca is a very aggressive player. He likes to make a lot of hippies. He's good at microing. He's good at multitasking, and
Okay.
he's able to actually be in your face and raid and whatever, have lots of skirmishes with you, and at the same time he's able to micromanage his economy as good APM. But let's say that you're, and I'm not saying this, I know it's going to come off bad, but let's say you're chemo, and let's say you're a little bit slower in like the well, I don't think he is, but let's say that's not his play style. He doesn't like to play aggressively. He likes to sit back, take his TC macro up and stuff. um, for
Mm-hmm.
him, optimal looks different than Mosca. Optimal looks different there, right? Now, if
Mm-hmm.
you're saying that there is only one optimal, and just because chemo might not be able to perform that optimal, that doesn't mean that optimal doesn't exist. That's probably your argument, right? But I'm saying optimal changes depending on the player's strengths and weaknesses, playstyle, right? And as it is right now, and I'm going to put it into context with what I've been saying,
Mm-hmm.
ISIS is suited for a specific type of playstyle, which is a playstyle that's somebody who's rushing to power spikes or who's trying to get early aggro in, control the map, stuff like that. ISIS doesn't have the ability to play a general game
A
the
methodical
same
game.
way as, yeah, the same way Greek does or maybe Norse does, right? So my argument there was I want this civilization to expand its ability to play a standard game rather than being so dependent on its different power spikes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went on a little bit, right? But I understand what you guys are saying. You guys are saying that it doesn't matter what the player's strengths and weaknesses are. There is only one optimal. If that player is not able to execute that one optimal, that's a player issue, not a gameplay issue. Is that correct?
If we are being very like technical about it, like if like player skill doesn't come into it, because let's take chemo as an example, like you said, right? He prefers to play defensive in almost all cases. He
Hmm.
will choose to go with it no matter what, right? And
Not
that,
necessarily, but yeah, most of the time
yeah,
he'd prefer that. Yeah.
he will opt into the suboptimal strat and try to make it work,
Mm-hmm.
right? He will go
Mm-hmm.
with the suboptimal strat. It's gonna be a tougher way of winning, but it's his comfort. So that's what he's good at, and that's what he wants to do. So that's what he's going to do. It's not optimal, it's suboptimal, but he can still make it work because that's where his player skill comes through, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. Like, just because something is suboptimal doesn't mean it's not winnable. It's still winnable. It's just not the best possible way of approaching the matchup. Just a different way
Okay.
of approaching the matchup.
I can agree with that. That's no, there's no disagreement there. But now
Mhm.
this is where it gets a little bit tricky because I feel like if you play ISIS in a different way, suboptimally for a short period of time, like we just said, Chemo takes a TC instead and doesn't rush out to his power spikes, then the Civ is rendered more useless than other civilizations that do the exact same thing. Whereas other civilizations can still, take a little disadvantage here and there. ISIS per se can't take those disadvantages. It has to be played in a linear playstyle, using only optimal playability, or else the Civ itself is rendered somewhat useless. Do you agree or disagree?
It's like you can look at it that way, but you can also look at it in a way where, if you look at ISIS's kit, let's talk about ISIS, okay? Because she's been the topic of discussion, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think ISIS has tools to deal with most of the things. She can go through any minor god, right? She can be offensive, she can be defensive. She has an insane eco booster with prosperity. She has an insane eco like killer with a ancestors eclipse, and she has crazy timing with Thoth, son of Osiris, mummies, and all that. Like, it's not like she doesn't have options, right? But each
Mm-hmm.
map forces you into like, it doesn't force you necessarily because you can still do what you want, but each map and matchup, you have like you go into this box of strats and you pick one for that map and that matchup and you try to play for it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you agree? Isn't that how you should approach this game?
So you're saying that she's a jack of all trades but a master of none.
Yeah, she doesn't really
And
have,
yeah,
but that's what's so good about her. No, she's good on any map. She's good on any matchup. She doesn't really have like an unplayable matchup, right? Can you think of
I
any?
mean, I disagree actually because the way like what I was trying to tell you, right? Let's say that let's go back to Chemo as the easiest example because he's more
Mm-hmm.
of a macro-oriented player, right? Let's say he doesn't play for his power spikes as Isis and he's playing versus Hades or Poseidon, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't play for his power spikes and he just plays a straight up macro game, takes his TC, makes good decisions, macros well, etc.
Yeah.
But then it comes to a point in the late game, usually in the Mythic Age, where his army is just never going to win.
You're getting
And as a
stat
result,
checked. Yeah.
hmm?
You're getting
Yeah.
stat checked by other units. And
So
it's,
then so
yeah,
now
go on.
you can say that that's a balance thing, right? That could be a balance thing per se as well. But I feel like that's more of a well, I mean, let me think about that for example. I don't know if that's still the case with Norse or Atlantean. Maybe it is because ISIS doesn't have the best units as the other two Egyptians do. So
No, but
you
what she
can't play.
has,
Hmm?
think of it this
Yeah.
way. What she
Hmm.
has is something no one else has. She has a god bonus that gives you free pop per town center, right? So if you make correct decisions and use your power spikes properly, you should most of the time end up in a town center advantage, right?
Yeah, but I don't see like the town center advantage is a great bonus. There's no doubt about that. But the times it's been useful for me in the games that I played, or I can count them probably on one hand. Like it's very rarely that bonus gets applied in game because I mean, let's just look at Set and Raw. They have Citadel too, so
Yeah,
it's kind of just.
I,
Hmm?
I mean we both agree Citadel is beyond busted, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then the games are not going to extended late games. So like the population limits, the five extra population that you get, it's not really playing a major factor as it used to in the older version of AOM.
If you have three TCs, that's 15 extra pop, right? That's how many units? That's at least like 5, 6 units, right? It's pretty good,
Hmm. I'm
no?
not saying it's not good. I mean, it's an okay bonus, but I feel like in Retold it's lost some of its allure.
Yeah,
Whereas,
because of the more population, like,
yeah, so like,
yeah.
and just think, I mean, this is my biggest gripe with ISIS, right? And this has been my gripe with AOM as a whole. I think the game is more focused on tactics rather than strategy, and I've said this many, many times. It's more tactical play rather than strategical play. And let me tell you what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
I think tactical play is you know that the god's power spike is here, here, and here. You're gonna you're gonna pre-compose a build order, a and you're gonna try to hit those power spikes.
Mm-hmm.
That's tactical play, right? But strategy, I think, is more like, okay, my opponent's doing A, I'm gonna do B. He sees me doing B, I'm gonna do A. It's more, it's more. What's the word? I don't know the word.
Reactive
Huh?
play. You're playing
Yeah, it's more
reactive.
reactive. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think that that's there that much anymore.
it is magic. It very much is. Mista's entire playstyle is revolved around that. You know that, right?
I don't agree because, like, for example, when Mista plays Egyptian, right? When he played, I don't know, Ra, Set, Isis. For example, when he goes Set, he says, "Okay, I'm gonna do Wadjets. I'm gonna do spears. I'm gonna go and try to attack my opponent in the middle of the map." Where's the scouting? Where's the scouting play come into there?
Scouting play comes in where his opponent tries to move out, and him positioning his army in a way where his opponent feels suffocated and does not dare to leave his base. That's
So you're
strategy.
Yeah, you're saying the strategy is you already pre-compose the the units you're going to make, the strategy you're going to do, but you're saying that the additional strategy is just how you move your army around the map,
Hmm.
right? You're just reacting. But I think that that
Okay,
is strategy. I'm not saying that's not, but I just think that's minimal strategy compared to what the game really could be.
okay. Do you see my screen right now?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see point A and point B right here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is like, let's say the tactics, right? From you want to go from point A to point B. That's your tactics,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this is what happens. This is where the strategy comes in.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you'll get to your plan B. You won't have a straight line there against a good player. Stuff will happen. You will have to adapt. You will have to change some things, but your ultimate goal is to play around the tactic you had in your mind for the map and the matchup, right? But there will be some hinder along the way. There will be some unexpected things, and that's where you apply strategy. Okay, he does this, I will respond with this, and stuff like that. It's not just a straight line from A to B.
Yeah. So I mean, it's what you're saying makes sense, but I think we're talking about the extent of strategy involved, right? Whereas
Mm.
you're saying there is strategy, but I think that's minimal strategy. I don't think that's a lot of strategy. I think that's mostly tactical play with a little sprinkle of strategy on the side. What I want is more strategy with a little trickle of tactics on the side.
So you want more randomness in the game.
It's not randomness.
Well,
I
to an
don't think so.
extent, it's not as what I can gather from all of this is you feel like there's too much scripted gameplay in this game right now.
Yeah, I can say that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you want it to be, instead of like a notepad script saying do this, do that, do that, do that. You want it to be like completely wiped, and you have to make decisions on the fly. Is that what you mean?
More so, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
very hard to get a game to that point where this game is so, like, unlike AoE 4 where things are quite even, like in terms of civ design and stuff. It's easier to make that happen there than it is here because of all the different variables, right?
I mean, the thing is, we've had it in the old version of the game, the legacy version, and you played on extended edition. I don't know
Yeah.
how that one is, but on Voobly, I felt like the game had way more strategy than Retold did. And
I
Retold, you
I
have one big fight, and like usually the game is kind of over.
like I watched a lot of Boyd videos back then, so I didn't quite play Woobly, but I did watch Woobly videos, right? Anything that Boyd put out, and I can tell you, it was super fucking linear. I think you're just romanticizing the idea of Legacy. I don't think it was like that.
Why don't we open up go on YouTube and then open up like an old tournament with me versus the Mista or something.
All
Let's
right,
watch a game.
all right. Let me pull it up.
And
Boyd
linear,
Modding.
I mean, you're saying strategy A versus strategy B. Like, you know, if you're ISIS, you take TC. If you're Oranos, you make Murmillo Terma. I mean, I don't disagree. I know that that was there. So maybe I'm not communicating correctly. I know that that was there, but it was different. The extent of strategy was significantly different than Retold is. And let's just watch a game. I think I'll be able to explain it a little bit better. Maybe I'm not
This
being
is
articulate
nine
enough.
years ago.
Yeah.
Jesus, 9 years. All right, let's.
Like another thing, let me explain it. Like if I'm let's say I'm a tactician, I have a tactic. I think a tactic will be able to garner me an edge, right? Let's say I make Centaur, Atalanta, Hippias. I'll get a little edge. I'll get my town center like 15 seconds earlier, something like that. I'll get an edge with the tactic, but I
Mm-hmm.
won't just win the game outright. But here in Retold, instead of getting like a little edge, I think you can just win the game outright with a very strong tactic and a good seed on the map.
With an opener, you mean? With a good opener, you can win the game straight off the bat.
Pretty much, yeah. With a good script, you can win. Yeah.
I agree, but there's ways to play around it. It's not always like, let's say some games you may be like out of it, you're not completely focused, and those are the games where stuff like that will usually catch you off guard, right?
Hmm.
But when you're locked in and you're focused, stuff like that doesn't really get you.
Mm, I don't know. Like for example, let's say that okay, you're playing. I don't know. I'm not too familiar on the current meta, but I'm gonna use an older example. Let's say that I was raw and I was making Wadjet, Spearman, Axeman, or I was set doing the same shit, right? Or
Mm,
whatever myth unit you can throw it in. Just going for okay, I know my opponent is an Odin player, and I'm set. I'm just going to go one base, make a ton of units, sit on a second gold mine, and I'm just going to win the game from there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be no counterplay. Maybe the real emphasis is counterplay. Maybe the fact that there's limited counterplay in certain matchups. Um, maybe that's the bigger issue, right? But yeah, let's just go back to the example. You make a ton of units, you set out
Mm-hmm.
your opponent's second gold mine, wait for him to come there, you win the fight, you win the game. I don't think that was the case on the older version of the game. I felt like there was always some level of counterplay. There was no like free wins like that.
I agree with you on this specific example you brought up. That is a design flaw in the Civ, though. No one else
Hmm.
can really do that,
Hmm.
right? It's been made like they've been designed in a way where they can be so abusive towards stuff that, like Odin, for example, like Egyptians versus Odin or Norse in general. The design of Egyptian and the design of Norse just doesn't let Norse deal with that, whereas
Hmm.
Greeks can deal with it to an extent, way better. Atlanteans can, others can, but it's just this specific matchup dynamic. They probably never accounted for it.
Hmm.
And Egyptians, the way they are, even now, they're the same. You can still roll with the same shit and do it against everyone.
Yeah, yeah. So another point I want to bring up, like it's not like I'm saying, I don't like playing this Civ and this Civ sucks, it needs to change. That's not what I'm saying at all. I think most Egyptian players are finding this is not really fun gameplay overall. And the reason why I'm saying this is because since my YouTube channel started, let's say in September or whatever, I've read every single comment that's been posted from then until now, and they all say somewhat of the same thing. Like the Civ, the Civ is being balanced around competitive level play, where the early game strength of Egyptian is capping the late game strength that could be right.
Hmm
I don't know if I explained that correctly, but do you?
You
What I'm
you
saying is
basically they traded off Egyptians late game for Egyptians early game.
kind of yeah. I think the Civ needs to be more balanced throughout, right? So I would go in editor, right? And I did this morning as well. I said, okay, I played chemo yesterday, and I thought I was doing well. I had the I had map control. I had more TCs, similar eco, but I think he was slightly ahead. I used AE. I had all my god powers and stuff, and my army just kept getting trounced over and over and over again. So I said, okay, maybe I just don't know the right composition. I went into the editor. I tried to make multiple different compositions versus the army that he made, and none were successful,
What
right?
was that? What was he
So
playing?
he was playing Hades. He was going for a big archer ball, and he was had some hoplites and some peltis mixed in there as well.
Mm. So
So
he got to
I,
the Greek army death ball.
yeah, like I don't know. I don't feel like there was that many scenarios in the old version of the game where one army would just trounce the other army and there was no counterplay.
It was, no. Greek was always that. That's Greek by design. They are supposed to have the best units, the strongest units, the most expensive units. That's what they're designed around. And that is like
Yeah,
the way they are currently, right in this like today, right now. That's how they were designed to be, and that's how they were in Legacy. Current Greek is the closest thing to Legacy Greek. Would you disagree or
yeah,
agree?
I can agree with that. But now then the thing is, Legacy Greek, Legacy Egyptian was actually stronger late game, I would say, than and then Greek. But here, there's almost no chance to win. I feel like once Greek get to a certain point.
Do you want to know why that is?
Why?
Mercenaries. They are not no
Yeah, I know.
longer at play.
Hmm.
So maybe we look for some love towards mercenaries somewhere, right? Because back
I don't think.
then mercenaries were key in every matchup for Egyptian once you get to late game. That's what won you games. Those together with catapults, together with towers, migdols, that was your way of playing,
Hmm.
right? But
Yeah, but I mean, mercenaries, I don't think are a unit that people want to see. They're gonna get upset with it and frustrated and stuff. So
no,
you probably don't
but
want to be buffing that, right?
probably not, but the what you are, yearning for is basically that play style where you were on two town center versus four with a big trade route, but you have no pop for army, so you're pushing out with mercenaries, towers, catapults, and slowly creeping your way back into the game. That's what you're
Hmm.
like. That high is what you want, right?
Yeah, I mean that's one thing. That's a very very small percentage of what I want. But I mean I just want there to be more back and forth between you and your opponent rather than you know, one critical error in your gameplay or one critical tactic or one critical matchup and you have no chance at winning after that, right? Because as you know, like I think we're all going to have biases towards the game in certain ways. We're going to be biased towards our own playstyles and our own what we find fun. That's
Mhm.
what I find fun, and I think most people would find that more fun too.
I mean, I can tell you right now, that way of playing, I found it the most fun as well. But I also know that it won't, no matter what you do, unless you completely rework the game, it won't be like that again. The population is the main reason, right? You had less pop to
Hmm.
work with, so population back then was the most important resource. Now it's whatever,
Hmm.
right? It's not even a big
Hmm.
deal.
No, I
Uh,
agree. I was thinking the same thing. But then at the same time, AoE 4 has 200 population as well, right?
mhm.
And then we were discussing it, I think, in the Balance Discord. I think it was Jolly Man pointing out some good pointers, right? Whereas in AOM, you can't support that large population space because even trade got kind of nerfed a little bit. And there's not that much passive income. Whereas in AoE 4, you have sacred sites, you have relics, you have other things to bolster your economy so you can continuously pump out units. And as a result of being able to pump out more units, you have more chances in the game, right? So there are ways to work around it, I think, as well.
Like if we were to, let's say, just play with the idea, if we had the same relics here in AOM as we did in AoE 4,
Hmm.
how do you think that would turn out?
I'm not saying, by the way, to add relics
No,
into
no,
the game. I'm saying
I
those,
know.
yeah. How would it work out? I
Yeah.
think it would work out good, actually. I think if you were, then people would have to move on to the map much sooner. There would be a lot more skirmishing. There would be a lot more fights, and you would have more economy. So that means there's going to be more larger armies and more battles that happen. That's what I would think would happen.
You know what I think would happen?
Yeah.
I think you would try to get it. Let's say in AoE 4 you need like a castle age, right, to go get them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say for fun in AOM, if that was the case, it would be in also heroic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You
But
know
I mean,
what?
you can change the specifics.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to anchor the same
Yeah.
way as AoE 4, right?
The
Go ahead.
entire the meta would completely change, and the entire
Mm-hmm.
meta would revolve around you min-maxing to the way of you getting that relic, no matter what. You would even send out a villager as soon as you spot one and wall that shit in. Because
We
you,
tried that before in AoE 4. That was something we were doing as well. But it just the game becomes very, very complicated. I know you think that you can do A. It's going to lead to A, B, and C, but it's a lot more It becomes a lot more I'm not saying add relics, by the way. So like,
yeah,
I
I
think
know.
it's a
It's
moot
just an
point.
example.
But like, let's just. What if we were to? What are the main issues? Right. The issue, I think, is the population limit. But the population limit is something casuals enjoy, so they'll never change that. That's pretty much a fact, right?
Hmm.
But what are the other things that can slow down the game a little bit and allow more opportunities for players to make comebacks, or, you know, if the opponent has a stronger army? The other mechanics you can add are your fortress type buildings like towers and migdos can be stronger to allow for a stronger defender's advantage. And then you can also increase gather rates, like for example on trade. So players have more resources, you're going to be building more armies, and it's going to lead to longer games, I would say.
I I think you just like gave me an idea. I think what could actually push this to happen, more comebacks into the game and
Hmm.
stuff like that,
Hmm.
actually a change on trade.
What
Unironically, like
is
just change, just give us more gold for the trade
Yeah, I
route.
agree. I 100% agree. Yeah.
Like if this happens now, suddenly some unplayable matchups start having a chance. You know, if they get
Hmm.
if you have a bad map, now you can still rat yourself in a corner and try to like push out. Like it's gonna
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
hard, but it's gonna be a way better chance of you. Like right now, if you don't have a gold mine, you fucking lose no matter what. There's no way you come back. You cannot set
Hmm.
up a trade route fast enough to the point of you being able to make a comeback.
Hmm.
So I think maybe actually changing the trade you get by, I don't know, let's say 20% more.
Hmm.
I think that would lead to some more legacy vibes where
I
you
agree.
can
100%.
where
Yeah,
you
I
can
agree with you
push
on that.
out. Yeah. So that's maybe something we could hope they look into.
Yeah, I agree.
Hmm.
I don't see any issue with that. I think there's only two things you can do at this point, is just increase the amount of resources a player can get and increase fortifications, the strength of fortifications. I think like they haven't been getting, like, towers are just, I feel like they're just still bad. They're pretty bad. I don't know about
Mm.
guard towers, but like the watchtower, I feel like is kind of, it hasn't been utilized in the way that I think it could be utilized, right? Like in terms of, let's say you want to venture out of your base and you want to gather food or something. Sometimes you can put a tower up into like kind of defend or whatever. I don't think that's the case anymore. Towers are just bad.
The way I feel about towers, it's like they're good. I don't feel like they're bad. I feel like they're okay. Like I've never
They,
made a tower and felt like fuck, I should not have made that tower. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't think okay is cutting it, because with population limits this big, and with armies being big as a result, if you have okay towers, you're not going to be able to hold ground. It's not going to make any feasible difference. So being okay is not sufficient. I think they need to be good.
This would need balancing around other things instead of just the watchtower upgrade then. Because
Yeah.
obviously at this you're referring to more like late game, right?
Hmm. No,
Yeah,
no, no, not even late game.
or
Like for
mid
example, like let's
late
say,
or
oh,
early
not even
late.
mid late. There's an issue we have where sometimes games are just decided at the second gold mine, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But let's say towers are good rather than just being okay. Maybe they can help you hold that territory versus stronger army, and then you can actually take that gold mine, right? If they were a decider, if they were a difference maker. Right now, it doesn't make a difference if you have a tower there or not. You can't hold You can't hold the territory at all.
Mm,
I think
mm,
even in classical, like maybe if towers were good, then games would be. I mean, you can utilize them in different ways, because like for example, they were talking about. Well, they're not talking about it in pop. You have less food in your base allegedly, or
mhm.
people are going to be fighting over hunt and stuff like that. Well, if you have better towers to go with that, then if your opponent has a significantly better army, let's say he's Loki with better units, and you're, I don't know, Kronos, and you don't have the best units or something like that, then you
Uh-huh.
can actually maybe stay in the game and not just completely die because you have better static D as a result. Something like that to kind of equalize it, give the defenders a little bit of an edge.
The problem with this is like I understand your vision is in the in the open map, right? Like you're trying to go on a second hunt or a gold mine. My vision, what I'm thinking is, how the fuck am I gonna raid anyone from now on? Like, I won't be able to raid if the towers are that strong, right? Now suddenly raiding is useless, which means I don't want to make any units because I can't get any damage done, which means we get an even boomier game. You know what I
I'm not
mean?
sure because in Legacy we had crenellations. I think gave like what two. It was like way stronger than what it is right now. I think it was 3 times bonus or 2 times bonus, and raids happen still all the time. Now raids are not like it's not like raids are not going to happen. I would say raids don't happen now because people are just bottled into their base. I think
People
you
are
make people
better.
come out. Hmm?
One thing we have to always keep in mind when we compare stuff to Legacy is that people have improved significantly since
I don't agree
Legacy.
actually. I think I was better when I was in my 20s
I mean,
rather than
if
what I am now.
relative to the time period you were in, if you were 20 now, Magic, you would look at yourself back then and be like, damn, that guy sucked compared to me today. Like, you're older
Yeah.
now, but if you were 20 now and playing this game and had the same mentality as back then, you would you would feel goated, like you would feel like insane. So I don't
Sorry, you're
think
saying that if I was 20 and looking at my 35-year-old self, that I would feel that the 20-year-old would be impressed with the 35-year-old. Is that what you're saying?
no, no, what I'm saying is, let's say you are 20 right now, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
And from if you compare yourself to your old self, like back in Legacy, you would
Like when
think,
I was 18s or
yeah,
15
yeah,
or something like.
yeah, yeah.
You,
If you think of it that way, you'll say, "Damn, I sucked." Like
yeah.
I had glimpses of games back then. I haven't really watched 10 years ago games of 10 years ago, but people
Mm-hmm.
sucked. Like, but
You know.
relative to that time, like that era, people were
Mm-hmm.
insane, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now, I'm pretty sure bring a 1500 player, they would like wipe the floor with Magyar. You know what I mean?
I don't think so, actually. I
I,
mean,
okay, not a 1500, but like if you were to bring Magyar now, like he wouldn't be all that he was back then. Maybe he
but
would, but
what's changed is the knowledge level. Like most of
yeah,
the average players now understand a lot more RTS fundamentals and
yeah,
concepts and stuff, right?
yeah.
But I think the players back then were not bad from like a processing standpoint, like when you're processing information, whatever, right? Because if you think about it, like for example, this one guy, Firefox, he was a like ages ago. Like I think this is way before, like even around Magyar's time. I think this guy was a good player back then. He came back and he's still a good player now, right? The people that were good like 15 years ago can come back today and still be good right now.
Yes,
It's just it's
I
I don't
agree.
yeah
I agree, but
yeah
you have to think of it this way: how many can actually realistically be good? There are tons and tons of people who played 15, 20 years ago, but only 5 to 10 of them are actually good. Like good,
hmm
good. You know what I mean?
yeah
So you have to
uh,
just because you remember these names of these guys being good back then and they're okay or good now, like you, Mista, and whoever else played back then, doesn't you're like not thinking about the 500 other people
true.
who were left behind, who were legends back then, but they're like really bad now. Like you can't,
I don't
yeah,
know anyone like that. Like I know like there's a guy named Chrono JJ. You might know him as
yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah, Chrono.
He was a top 20 player back then, and now he's like, what is it, maybe top 500. But it's also like he's 36 with like two kids, and he has like he's a full-time police
Yeah,
officer, right? So he didn't get to. he doesn't get to still play as much as he did when he was younger. So it's very hard thing to really know whether or not um whether or not if that's really the case. Because I feel like this is a completely different topic as well. But you know how they compare athletes from different times and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and we're comparing like RTS players from different times. But
yeah.
at the same time, is at the very very end of the day, it's just one player versus another player with the same set of skills. I'm sorry, the same set of resources. They're both playing off against one another, right?
Mm,
But if those same two players were teleported in today's time with more resources like YouTube, Wikipedia, all this stuff, right?
mm.
Maybe they would still be just as good as us right now too. I don't know if
Probably.
yeah.
What I was trying to say is, relative to the time, people now are better. Like they have more tools, more resources to improve. Like they can
Hmm.
easily find out about the meta. Back then, you were kind of on your own, right? There weren't as much
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
resources.
Yeah.
So like the skill was good relative to the time. Back then, you guys were insane, right? Some of you are still insane in this time, but some of you aren't because you didn't keep up.
Yeah. I need like maybe 5 or 6 minutes and then I'll come back. And then we
Sure.
can we can watch some of these after that.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure.
Yeah, be right back.
No rush point is right and wrong. What do you think, Chemo? What's right and what's wrong? Tell me your opinion. I think Nola drifts off sometimes. Bro, I'm tired. Allow it. Come on. Sometimes I do. But it's also hard to keep track of everything. Like, a lot of stuff goes through my mind, but I only say a couple of things while my mind says more. Like, my mind is racing, and I'm not keeping up with what I'm saying. Already go down the rabbit hole with 20-year-old and 40-year-old magic. What I was trying to say is, back then, what you considered good is what you consider bad now. You know what I mean? The meta wasn't as figured out. The resources weren't there. Stuff like that. I have exactly the same approach as I used to have in Legacy when it comes to the game. Main difference is now I'm wiser and I have price for tournaments. Of course, there are outliers like you, Mista. Of course, there are outliers like you, Magic, anyone else who's still a very good player, right? But what I'm saying is, you only remember the 10 great players of back then, but you don't remember the other really good players who fell off. Yeah, people improve over time, basically. You close the gap in skill. Yeah, Chemo. I'm not saying everyone would. I'm saying some wouldn't. Some would not be. Some wouldn't be too good. Some wouldn't be too bad. It's obviously differs from person to person. People would literally play 30 tournament games with one god. I see. I personally find Retold has a higher skill cap than Legacy. I think so too. I do think that because like you have way more. Like old game was way more linear than this game, by the way. Old game was very linear, but we also have to talk about which timestamp, right? Because I think when Magic says legacy, he's not talking about 3 years ago or 4 years ago. I think he's talking about 10 years ago. I think that's what Magic legacy is. When Magic talks about legacy, I think he means 10 years ago, guys. I didn't even know what AOM was 10 years ago. Oh, he talks about ESO. Yeah, I have no clue, bro. Yeah, early Boobly. Now I have no clue about that. Like when I'm reading, okay, legacy, I'm thinking, okay, uh like 2020, 2021, 2022. I'm not thinking 10 years ago or 20 years ago. So I guess his time, like, he's looking at a different time than I am. This whole debate is wrong. Why? The game isn't the issue? I don't think so. Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right, mister. It's catered towards casuals, not esports. I think comparing Retold to Legacy is besides the point. I mean, that's what Magic has been wanting for a while. It is missing the legacy. People don't leave because the game is bad. It's just that they come and go. I think people leave because the game doesn't have much of an incentive to play, mister. I think that is the issue here.
All right, I'm back.
Yo, welcome back.
All right,
Yo,
what do
when
you
you
want to?
say
What should we watch?
legacy, when you say
Hmm?
legacy, you refer to
Hmm?
10 years ago? Because when I say legacy, I mean like 2, 3 years ago, bro.
I don't really remember 2, 3 years ago. I think
Oh
I
my
didn't
god.
really play
So you've
because
been talking this whole time, you've been talking about 10 years ago?
the thing is I haven't been playing Legacy, right? I stopped
Yeah.
playing when AOE 4 came out. Like I stopped before that too. So when did AOE 4 come out? Let me check.
4 years ago,
I
I
think
think.
2000
Or 5.
uh 2021. So I haven't played since like 2000. I mean, I barely played even before. I just played for like a couple months, stopped, a couple months, stopped like that.
Yeah.
So
But when you say
I'll,
legacy, what do you refer to? How many years ago would that be?
maybe like that tournament. Let me just see. Let me check my Wikipedia. Let me see. It's when I stopped playing.
Okay. Because I think we might have
Uh,
had different ideas this whole time
yeah, I would
of,
say around 2016 is when I stopped
oh,
really actually playing. 2015 around there.
yeah, so yeah, it's like 10, almost 10 years ago. Yeah, I was just thinking when I said legacy, I was talking about, 3 years ago, 4 years ago when Voobly was like, popping off, or not really popping off, but it was rather active with a lot of players.
Hmm.
That's what I was referring to.
Yeah, I don't know if the gameplay really changed. I don't know. It probably did. I'm not sure. I was talking about like 20. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we'll see now.
2015.
This is 9 years ago, so this is basically what you were referring to, these games.
Probably. Yeah.
So we can have a look.
What is this? The Rag series? This is AOM, isn't it? This is not
Yeah,
AOE, AOT.
yeah, it's Titans. It's Titans. It says it right there.
Rag series. I don't remember this one. Okay, yeah, let's watch it. Let's see.
All right.
Because I think this was this the Titans? It says Titans on it.
Yeah, yeah, the Titans right there on the bottom right on the bar.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Okay, let's see what happens. Maybe play fast. It's gonna doors. We're gonna be here all day.
Let's do 1.5. No,
Maybe just go to the mid, like 5 minutes in or something, or like 10 minutes in.
let's see how. I want to see how you guys played back then. Okay, we already see the towers being protected. Good temple placement.
What is it? It's like 3 minutes in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like building placement isn't as important on Retold as much as Legacy. It's there. It's still important, but not to the same extent.
Really? I feel like it really is very important. Jesus, you guys are going hard. Even in back then, you guys were like doing shit like this.
I think, as I said, I think we were better back then.
Oh my
I was
god.
better back then.
Wait, did you what did you
I think I
shift?
missed it. I missed it. I only got one bill in the shifting sands, I think.
Oh my
I've always been pretty bad at just doing like these like abusive strategies, but
2 bills. Yeah, that's abuse,
two,
man.
2 bills I don't think is that much.
And that's
3 would be good. Because back then you'd need 3, I think.
Oh my god. Okay, that was bad from
Two
you
for
losing that pharaoh. You should have just ran.
like 2 for a god power, I think is okay.
I think it was good. At 430 is huge, no? Because you got second TC faster as well.
Yeah, but like
Wait, what? You
yeah,
guys are building TC with 4 vills? Was that the meta?
I don't remember.
I guess he lost
Well,
two, so
I didn't have a pharaoh, or else that thing would go up way faster.
yeah. A spearman, okay. But this is legitimately, if I place you two in a Ghost Lake game in this matchup, this is exactly how it plays out. By the way, this first
It's
5 minutes, by the way,
yeah,
exactly the
that's
same.
fine. I mean, it's not about the first 5 minutes or the
Okay,
first 10 minutes even. Let's keep going.
let's fast forward. Okay, you're skirmishing here for nothing.
What's there? Oh, your Boyd's controlling it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, his
Okay,
hunt is there, right?
his fighting, yeah,
So you had to fight. You see, we're already
yeah,
making units.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
Keto, we
this is
could have.
bad. No, but this is bad. Like, why is he fighting? Mister should not be fighting here. Wait, what?
I think he wins.
Hippicons were
He
good
wins,
here?
yeah.
What?
The spearman only had 10% bonus, I think, or I don't know. It wasn't that much. I don't remember how much. It was
Um,
only a 10% multiplier. He could have won that fight if he didn't retreat. Actually,
yeah, it was
he does.
looking
He
like
would.
it.
Yeah, he would have won. He just. I think he underestimated his position.
Oh, big raid. Oh, what? Interesting seas. I guess he was out of position.
You can see like it's already like. I mean, I guess Retold games you could kind of have this too, but I don't see it as much as often.
Very similar though. But like Mista's making mistakes here. Like he
Everyone
would
makes
never do this. He would never do this today. You know what I mean?
it depends. Everyone will make mistakes, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
it's not like he's
Everyone
not a
makes
machine.
mistakes. Yeah, yeah,
It's easier not to make mistakes in Retold because there's less going on as well. Like when you're playing versus somebody who's like I would say just giving you a lot of like what is it? If there's more intensity in the game, there's more likely to make mistakes, right? And this is
yeah.
the tournament finals too, so like there's more nerves as well. So it's
Yeah.
not like it's just a random practice game. I should have killed these giraffe at home. I don't know why. Yeah, it's a nice attack. No, why is
Well,
boy? Okay,
this is like
huh?
spot on Retold. Like you can replicate this shit in Retold. Some of the games go like this in Retold.
Mm,
Like this
I don't know.
matchup
I
in
don't.
Retold has been playing out like this for a while. The only difference is one of them would be going mythic right now.
Said like I mean, some of these moves are just random. I don't know why I would move my army here. It's pretty dumb.
I mean,
And
it's
now he
funny.
got a.
It's fun to watch this because like you look at this and you compare it to you today, and you're like, yeah, he would never do this in this day and
I
age.
mean, I would do it as well. I'm sure I make tons of mistakes,
Yeah, but
but
yeah, I mean, sometimes, yeah, but not like you probably thought it was a good idea to do that back then.
I guess the main thing that's different, yeah, is no one is jumping to mythic, right? We're fighting.
Yeah, but then again, like meta wasn't as figured out back then, was it?
No, it was figured out. I think we play. I mean, I think AOM was just well. I don't know if it was. It's pretty much the same level of competitiveness as it is on Retold right now.
It's
Like on Retold, like you can kind of see it. I think we barely have to play to keep our like Mista. I don't know much like how often he plays or whatever, but then he comes back for like I don't know a month, plays for a month, and he wins, right? Or even
mm,
me, I come back for you saw the last tournament. I came back in the shape I was, and then you came third place. It's still not bad, right?
it's not
That's like
bad.
the level right now is not that good either. I think the legacy level was better. Look, making a tower. What was the
Why
damn?
no
What was the?
Migdol? What the hell? You only pay 100 more gold and you get a Migdol there.
I think towers were pretty good back then, though. I don't remember. Like, I don't know what the DPS is on the tower. I think they were pretty good. I'm playing set, yeah. Maybe the Migdo would have been better.
Go back and fix it. Okay, so you're gonna go for a
Never
gold
can.
star here. Bro, it's legit the same thing. He's going for a gold star. I mean, it's the correct play, right? Like, I can't blame you. But it's the same shit, no?
I don't think so. In Legacy in Retold, I barely have this many. We barely have this many skirmishes. In early game, we don't make any units for most part.
Because there's not, like,
There's nothing to fight about in the early
yeah,
game.
there just isn't.
We have trade up already. We'll never make trade in Retold either this early.
Yeah, but trade was better back then, right? Plus it was lower
Yeah.
pop, so it would pay off.
See, look, Tornado didn't even kill the TC.
Did he have no, he didn't have fortified. But like, what time is it? It's 19 minutes, and he's still heroic. I mean, I would say the main difference between now and then is it's more optimized now. The game, the gameplay,
Mm,
it's more refined.
it's it's more optimized also because there's less there's what's the word? It's simpler now than it was before, I think. It's significantly simpler.
In what
Now
way
you have
would you
so much
say
food
so?
in
It,
well, your food, like how much food you have in your base. You didn't have to leave your base. You don't have to leave your base for so long.
I like, I don't know. I don't think this is because of the like. I just think here. I mean, it was balance, right? Was different balances back then, so maybe the meta was different and you wouldn't jump to mythic or anything like that.
I mean, you just picked a random game, and I honestly think this is way more fun to watch than most games I've watched of Retold, especially in the tournament finals. Like, was there any game that was more exciting than this in the Recon versus Mista? I don't watch all of them, but I don't really think
No,
so.
you
This is
fucking
already
lamer.
what. Hmm?
Look at those walls. I mean, I miss playing the game like this, like with towers, with catapults, with migdos, with walls, but like it still happens, but it's not as satisfying because there's so much pop, right? You don't get to see your towers and stuff shine as much.
Yeah, I just think towers are not that good, to be honest.
I think they're good. I just don't think they're as good as they used to be in Legacy, which is fine because you shouldn't really be needing towers until you're full pop anyway. Like, look at it, think of it this way, okay? Hear me out. If
Mm.
towers are good, now what the fuck is the point in making archers? Know what I mean?
Well, archers they're different. They serve different purposes, right? One is a static D to control an area, whereas archers you have value since you can move around the map and attack different targets and stuff, right? You can siege down
Realistically.
bases. Hmm?
But like for Tox, let's say, since it's the most generic archer, right? You can't
Mm-hmm.
really move around the map with them and not get caught out today. Like it's unlikely you can move around with them freely. Like it's more of a static thing you're using to secure a resource.
I don't know. Like okay, like let's say you make a tower. It's about 200, and if you factor in build time, maybe 250 or so, right? So
Yeah.
let's say it's worth 3 archers.
Yeah.
I I think 3 archers have a lot of value to offer, and then one tower situated in the corner of the map where somebody might never get any kills even, you know? It just controls territory. Like these archers can be used in multiple different areas. The tower is going to be there forever. It's never going to be able to move around.
It depends on how the map is, right? You want to play according to the map. And if the
Hmm.
resource you want, like you said, you want to secure a second gold mine, right?
Mhm.
And now let's say, would you rather have 3 archers or a tower there? Obviously a tower, no, because it can defend your vills and it can fire at them and crenellations. So obviously tower comes out ahead then, no?
For defense, yeah, which is its primary purpose, but for offense, I mean, it's still a opportunity cost lost, right? Because you're saying if I put a tower at my second gold mine, then it's way better than making 3 Toxicity,
Yeah,
kind of thing like that.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a trade-off because if let's say I make a tower there and you make 3 archers, right? Now you're able to take more map control.
Yeah, but my gold is now secured. Whereas those 3 archers can die to
Mm-hmm.
raiding cavalry or whatever.
But then you would, I mean, from a very simplistic point of view, if one player makes a tower and the other player makes archers, the player making archers will have a bigger army as a whole, and so his army combined with the other units will be bigger, and he'll be able to control more of the map, right?
Hmm? But he won't
So
have as much opening to get damage done on you. That's the trade-off, right?
that the opening part I think is more of I think it's more of a retold issue. I don't know. Because in
Maybe.
Legacy, like you saw how much we were fighting all over the place here.
Yeah.
We fought from the first 6 minutes of the game.
Is there another one? Rag series.
Yeah, let your viewers know. Nobody's complaining. We're just discussing different things, right? It's not like I don't like Retold. I have a whole YouTube channel on where I post Retold videos. I have no issues with Retold.
Who's
It
saying
doesn't mean
it?
you stop. I don't know, some random guy in there.
I'm
And
not.
don't ban him or anything.
No,
Don't time him out.
no,
Just want
no.
him to know that just discussing a game and things that can be better about the game doesn't mean that you don't like the game and you're just living in the past.
I mean, we're here
Sometimes,
because we love the game, right?
yeah, exactly. Like discussing the game is actually what makes the game even better, right? It doesn't mean that I'm stuck in Legacy and I actually do prefer rather a lot of the things in Retool as opposed to Legacy too. It's not like it's all bad, right? There's lots of goods and bads. I want to just create more good for Retold. Anyways, continue. Yeah.
Let's see. So this matchup is Mista on set now versus. Oh wait, who's ISIS? You're ISIS and Mista set. The ISIS
This one
favored,
is
no? I guess it's
no.
Marsh.
I think this is super heavy set favored.
Set OP back then.
I think an egg, yeah, set was very strong back then.
I guess it's on Marsh as well, right? So you get insane amounts of animals. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
nah, but though, guys, look at this. He has
Mm.
3 hippos in his base, and he has a pack of deers. Come on, man.
That's Marsh, man. That's Marsh.
Come on, man.
That's
No, he
Marsh.
has
That's
six
different.
hippos.
That's like one map out of like in Retold you have that on every map.
uh, Come on. I mean, to be fair, let's see. Its next patch is like 4 berries, 4 chickens, and like a pack of hunt. So it's gonna
Yeah, but
change slightly, but it's gonna be the same.
that pack of hunt is like 200 a carcass, right? This one I wonder how much it was. I don't know. That's 300 the boar. That's the same, I think.
Hippos are 400, right? Theirs are 200
In Retold?
in Legacy, and in
I don't
Retold,
remember
I
right now.
think it's the same. Right,
Yeah, but
so
the are going to be changing to T 200 in the new pup, right? Right now they're 150.
yeah, and 200 on new, which means they were adding 25%, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so probably like almost 500. Oh, it should be 500 for hippos. Wait, is it 500?
Oh,
Hooked.
I'm blue and Mista's red, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, are we seeing a fast heroic? Yep, we are.
Um, This one I think you can also go for a TC here too. And Set can go really aggro here as well, but I made like a massive wall, I think.
Like a monument. You also
I
going
think
for
I remember
heroic?
this game. I don't know. It's like 10 years ago, but I remember, I think, what happened.
Fast.
Oh, look at. Oh, you can't look. Sorry. I keep forgetting it's Boy.
You're both going for faster. Oh, wait, what? What was that?
Look at this glitching.
What the
Like,
fuck?
yeah, that kind of stuff happened all the time.
No, but like, let's be real. They're playing out similar to how it's playing out now. This is how this matchup plays out as well, by the way, mind you.
Yeah, but it's not gonna. And what's about to happen doesn't play out next. Next is different, I think.
Wait, you guys used to AE in their base as well? Oh my god, you guys are ahead of your
No,
time.
but nowadays you can only AE in the base. I feel like it just sucks on army. It doesn't work that well. See, this part, I feel like Retold doesn't do as much of, whereas this the fighting and heroic.
But weren't god powers overtuned back then?
No, I think God powers back then were much more reasonable than. Actually, I don't know. I think like some things were stronger back then. Like Ancestors and Eclipse, I think was stronger.
I mean, shifting sands too, no? 2 villagers,
Hmm.
3 even. So yeah, they're even
That got
stronger.
changed. I don't know if I think in the patch it got changed to one villager or something. Like we had fan patches, right?
Oh yeah.
So that got changed.
Siege towers, elephants, chariots, scorpion.
Do you still
Basically,
see this a lot in Retold? This same thing?
uh, yeah, but mostly now spearmen and slingers instead of Migdol units.
Mm.
The siege towers I see in her and mirrors if they like go 1 TC.
Mm-hmm.
But it's mostly nowadays it's not even about pushing anymore. It's about denying resources like gold mines, hitting them on
Mm-hmm.
different angles. So you want speedier units. That's how these matchups play. Like camels or spearmen run around, raid, deny off of Goldman. There's no more pushing like this, or as
Mm-hmm.
much, because people are getting like they're getting very good at defending stuff like this, right?
I
It's
don't
not
know if they're getting better at defending or it's just harder to. Like pushing doesn't work anymore.
pushing is very hard. Some like it's like power creep as well. Like some things just make you can't push some things, you know? It's like why even try?
This was a discussion point actually very early on in Retold's development, I think. And I think they didn't like the idea of pushing being a thing. They think it's better if it was not in the game.
Like slow push instead of fast push.
Just pushing it like these type of I don't know, heroic or H2 pushes and stuff, they didn't really like it. I don't think I don't know. They were balancing I guess more on the casual side, but
Yeah, I
could be
guess.
wrong about that. I mean, the armies feel like even though the population limit was lower, like I still feel like the army size is pretty big right here.
I mean, 2 TC, you're on 2 TC, and so is he. He's on 3 TC. Oh, this guy's greedy. Yeah, I mean, 3 TC, 145 pop, 160 with 45 TC. Damn. We have so much less pop to play with, but so much more opportunities to make plays with the pop.
Hmm.
Guess that's a big difference. So you guys are
It's a nice
just
raid.
basically, yeah, you guys are basically just pushing back and forth against each other.
Yeah. Oh, I should have kept going with those chariots. I think I could have taken down the Migdal.
Yeah, probably. Oh, Mercs.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, this is like right now, what did Valley of the Kings do back then? It didn't give you free units, right?
Um, I didn't give you like super fast training time
Oh
on
yeah, yeah,
units.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that. Yeah, it gave you super fast training time, right? So it's actually if this wasn't if this didn't exist and if Tornado didn't wipe an entire army,
Hmm.
I think this was exactly how Egyptian mirrors would look today if the Valley of Kings didn't exist and Tornado didn't wipe an entire army.
Yeah, but like, to be honestly, like you can say I'm living in the past or whatever, but this game looks a lot more fun to watch than a lot of Retold games, and fun to play. There's no like relying on power spikes here. You're just trying to brute force and win.
Yeah, I mean this is brute forcing it, all right. It's like it's fun to play, it's fun to watch, but it's not too different from what Retold is, except in small areas, you know?
I don't remember the last time I played a game like this where we're just fighting with each other down the middle over and over and over again. It's usually like somebody will just camp, wait for a power spike, push out with this power spike and aim to win the game. And then once all of the power spikes are depleted and no one has anything left, then you'll get to this kind of gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like God powers, if like you can't reuse God powers here. Like, imagine if you could reuse prosperity 5 times. Like, wouldn't you just pop down 5 monuments back then? Or 3 times? Wouldn't you just keep reusing prosperity and spamming mercs into space and winning the
Yeah,
game that way?
possible, yeah.
Yeah,
That was a bad meteor.
it's there's more possibilities in this game than that than Legacy.
Yeah. Monkeys, you could do the exact same things, but nobody does it as far as I know. And the reason they don't do it is because like it's
It's
not
a
it's not
gamble.
the yeah, and it's not the optimal way of playing anymore.
Yep.
The optimal
People,
way is just waiting for power spikes.
yeah, you have to like gamers like 10 years ago, they weren't as min-max as they are today, you know? In every single game, whether it's a fucking single player, multiplayer, or whatever, every single person who takes the game somewhat seriously will try to min-max as much as they can. That's also a big thing. People didn't used to try to min-max as much back then.
I mean, we did it here. I mean, I know I've like in these tournament games we were doing it. It
Hmm.
wasn't at the
Yeah,
point where we
yeah,
weren't.
yeah, yeah, but you're like a few select few people, whereas the majority of the players were just like not even, they didn't even know what min-maxing was, you know?
I mean, I don't think the most of the retold players even do it. Maybe you do it, but like I don't think maybe outside of the top five, maybe or the top eight or whatever. It's very unlikely.
Just trade
Do you really
harassment.
think? You think Eric BR is going into a custom game and min maxing everything?
Oh no, I don't mean min-maxing in that sense. I mean min-maxing in like trying to like make everything as clean as good as possible, like understanding your power spikes and stuff like that better, as to the best of your ability, basically. Here, you guys are just throwing units at each other and hoping you are trading better, while some micros involved. But at the end of the day, since it is a mirror, it's also RNG, how the units target each other and stuff like that. Who
I
won
don't know.
this
There was a
game?
lot of stuff going
Magic.
on across the sides and stuff. A lot of mind games and stuff here. I mean, it looks like it's just brute force down the middle, and it is to a certain degree. But I feel like there's a lot of things that are happening on the back end that you don't really get to really
Yeah.
see as well. Like for example, like I don't know, like I split my army in two here, which I don't think is like a abstract concept or whatever. But um, I don't know. In Retold, I feel like you just have to fight in the middle with a big army, beat the other person's big army. Maybe I just don't play enough to really see it, but that's the way I see it for most games.
You
What?
play against, I mean, you play against top players who play the game almost every day, right? They know,
Yeah,
they're up to date, whereas you're semi up to date. You're not quite up to date, but you still know a thing or two, right? Whereas they're
yeah.
ahead, the sense of knowledge. each patch compared to you, and you're like a little further behind, so you don't know what's going on, and you end up losing to something like bullshit, right? But I
Twice,
reckon
yeah, yeah.
if you just played more, try to like look into stuff
But
more, I think you would
the
still
the weird thing is, like, I can play. I when I come back, like when I play, when I feel like playing, and I play Greek, Norse, or even Atlantean, I can do perfectly fine. But that's the thing when I play Egyptian, and I don't play because I play without. Most of the time, I just play without a game plan. I just do random stuff, right? But you can't do it without with Egyptians. You have to play to a certain way, or else I feel like you're not gonna win most of the time.
the way so Egyptian isn't like legacy anymore. We have already like went over that. The way you have to play Egyptians now is more of like you have to see the matchup, you have to see the map, and then decide what your game plan is and try to like get there with minimal losses and then hit your power spike.
That's kind of the same thing on Legacy. I mean, sorry, in the old version of the game too. Yeah, it's the exact same concept. It wasn't
Like
anything different than that.
Like I remember a lot when I was like in 2021 when I was a raw, healthy raw main, and Oranos was my toughest like matchup, right? And I kept trying to learn how to beat this thing, and I would go and watch you play. I would try to watch as many good raw players as possible to learn, and I pretty much uh, the way you played it, you always played it 2TC with slingers, right?
Mm.
And it's still the same way today against
Raw versus
Atlanteans.
Oranos.
Raw versus any Atlantean if they're aggressive.
Hmm.
It's pretty much the same too. Like with the exception of like now Murmillos are insane, right? So they will have some Murmillos, so you'll probably need Axemen or Spearmen. But generally, you used to just defend with slingers back then, and you try to hit your power spike, and try to
Hmm.
get your Osiris, and then you'd push back out, right?
Yeah.
It's the same concept here in this game. Yo, Prometheans look hella ugly now.
Yeah, I find the graphics on old version better actually. It's so much easier to distinguish which units are which.
Yeah. I mean, China units are a fucking abomination, no? Like, they all look the same, and each line upgrade makes them still look the same, no? Or is it just me?
Yeah. I know, I think I agree with you.
Wait, is this a... Wait, did you guys agree to, like, mirror each other or something? Like,
I think you can play any god you want, and we both knew that Uranus was the best god on Oasis.
oh, interesting. You guys are playing it just, like... No, but, like, there is a meta back then, and it's pretty much similar to this one. You would open with Terma, and then you would go into a second TC, and then you're gonna go Heroic and try to win in Heroic. Is this how it's gonna play out here as well?
I don't remember this one.
Let's see. So you open with Turva, go into a second TC, go to Heroic, and then the game ends somewhere there.
Does this really happen? Like
Yeah,
people mass term on Retold?
yeah, in Atlantean mirrors, yeah. It's very
Oh.
common. You open with Turma, and then you switch into second TC, maybe even third, and then you go for Murmillo, and then Contarius, or whatever. Quite
Hmm.
common. Is this no patch? I don't know, Sigma. Is this no patch magic? I mean, it's 9 years ago. It has to be, no? Right?
I don't know what it was. I don't even remember. I remember this game, but I don't remember. Like, I kind of vaguely remember it.
Anyone going Heroic?
Is he going heroic?
Yeah, they
I
are.
mean,
You're late.
I made more army than him.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a Luvo Gray too. Clay.
Dude, I just remembered Atlantean used to only have 25 villagers. Holy shit, that was insane. It's so annoying.
I think after this game, I'm gonna go play some.
Alright.
Tomorrow I have to go work.
Yeah, sounds good.
We can play if you want. Just
I need
search.
to hop off as well because I'm tired as fuck. But you'll take
Oh,
over the shift.
okay. Did you win any ISIS games?
Yes, against a 712 elo player. To be
Oh
fair,
no.
I played. Oh yeah. We can actually
Why am I
discuss
fighting?
after this.
Bad fight, I think.
Oh,
They put
he
my
fought
health.
you before heroic because of the gold mine.
I took a bad fight.
Ah,
That's not the end of the world, I think, but
there was auto queue in this game, right?
hmm
You don't have to multitask chemo as Atlantean. You just have to control your army since there's auto queue. So it's just basically both of them mainly focusing on their armies. Oh, the Stymphalian birds could be clutch.
Mr. has 2 on
Wait,
food. Huh?
he went mythic.
Yeah.
You're still classic?
I think he was pretty
Oh
far
no, you're
ahead. I took a really
heroic.
bad fight.
You're heroic now.
I just
Oh,
got hero. No, I'm.
you're also going mythic. Wait, you got mythic? No. Yeah, he got mythic first. Now you're going back to your base to defend it. These age jumpers, yeah. Even back then, they rushed to mythic.
It's 15-minute game, man. It's 15-minute mythic.
You saw it here first, guys. This is proof.
Who won this game? I don't remember.
I mean, Mista is the
I know.
tempo right now.
I think I won the tournament, but I don't know if about this game. I think I won the tournament. I don't remember.
Oh, the term.
This is a good. Oh, I remember this. I put my Tartarus. He abandoned his TC and he just kept pushing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what
Oh,
happens.
this is actually huge for him, no?
Yeah, he couldn't go back and defend. He realized it's pointless, and he just abandoned his main town center. And I think I even stopped him on his second town center, and he just all-ined me here. Let's see if that's what happens. Maybe
You
I'm
stopped
wrong.
the second TC here.
I was way ahead this game too. I should have won, I think. I
I
think
got
that's
to mythic first, Kappa.
well, we both put our god powers down at the same time. I should have won
Why do you
this
still have
easily.
tree? Oh, you have another charge of your tree. And shockwave.
Oh my god, this is the easiest win of my life. I remember I was so pissed when I lost this.
You lost this?
I think I lost this, yeah. Because all he
Yeah.
did, he gave up his base. I think he gave up his base, and then he all-ined my gold mine, where the palace is, and
Uh,
uh, and then he won somehow. Or maybe maybe I did win. I don't know. I don't think I won this.
it looks like he's winning.
I mean, I would say I'm winning. I'm through 3 TCs versus 1, or soon to be 1.
Oh, he's got fanatics though.
Yeah, shit.
Damn. His eco is kinda good, like he's floating a lot, and his max pop. And I think he's still on 3 Townsend. Oh no, he's gonna get on 3 TC here.
I should have threw down maybe. I don't have much vills. Oh, I lost all my vills, I guess. Somehow.
Oh damn, you're at 61 pop, and he's at full pop.
Yeah, I should have put this Tartarus closer to his main TC.
Oh yeah, they used to be able to take down TCs back then too, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think he's only on 1 TC at the moment. Or does it? No, it says 3 there, right? Yeah, it says 3.
He's on
It
3.
told you back then.
Yeah, he is on 3. I like
That's
that
a
it
BM,
told you
huh?
back then, but like I liked it that it told you, but at the same time I didn't.
Mm.
Kind of like cheating, you know.
And to me, this game was pretty fun to play, pretty exciting. Even though I lost, I think there was
How can you have fun in an oranosphere?
nah, it's still fun. I like the back and forth. I don't like one push and it's all over. I did take out the TC, I guess, at some point.
Oh, you did,
Now
yeah.
it's 3-2.
Are you gonna come back? Go on.
No, no, I can't come back here.
Goal starving. You're actually trading really good here, though.
Look how small the armies used to be. In like 21-minute game, and we only have barely any units.
90 pop. Yeah, that pass is insane, scaring you right now with the Stimphalian birds. No, but today's day and age,
Mhm.
if you played Dea here, you would have 10 Dea, 10 Dryas running down his army on repeat for the entire game. That's the problem.
I think Arcus didn't have bonus. Well, did they have bonus damage? I don't remember.
I feel like Orcus back then were really good as well.
Yeah. Ooh, I
The only
lost
thing
two
I
birds
can
there.
think of, yeah, actually back then, I think the only thing I can't say back then because I wasn't around back then, but like 3-4 years ago, only Oranos
Mhm.
was really busted. No, other gods were fine.
I don't know. I think Ra was pretty busted too at one point, and Set was really busted at one point.
Was it?
Zeus was solid, I think, from day one, and it was really busted. No patch, I think. Oh, did I come back there? Am I coming back?
Wait, we'll go on.
Oh
Oh
shit.
yeah, Dryads costed gold here when the game was
Mm.
actually balanced.
Hmm. Oh, I think I still died though because I ran out of gold here. He gold starved me. Gold starved. Even though my army is so much big. Oh, need to kill that hero Arcus ASAP. I think he's dead. Yeah, he's dead.
What was boy doing with his camera?
Boyd's going nuts, man.
Oh,
Oh, max pop though, right? But he has fortified, so I think his pop is still similar to me.
2 versus 2 TC. No, you're on 3, right? Yeah, you're on
I'm
3.
on 3, but I don't have fortified. He does. What should I have made here? He has destroyers. That's the main problem, I think.
Probably made destroyers of your own, to be honest.
Yeah. I have some, right? But not enough, I guess.
Yeah. Or Cantarius. But then again, Cantarius didn't have the OP techs. They had the
Ooh,
Lance of Stone.
he hit my gold on the other side, I
Oh,
think.
that's big.
Oh man. Yeah.
And her seeing it 10 years later.
Yeah. I was mad at myself for losing this. Boy
Wait,
should have showed the armory upgrades. I don't know what he has and what I have. But
I mean, he has better line upgrades. You have medium, he has heavy.
hmm. I think that's all she wrote.
Yeah, looks like it's over.
Tell me that was not a fun watch though.
It's okay, but it's like Atlantean Mirror. You can't really expect much from that.
I think any like these type of games where there's so much like action, I think is just more fun. Now let's do something. Let's watch you versus Mosca. Let's watch that game. Isis
Dude,
versus Poseidon.
you had like 12 units at no 6 units in like 12 minutes. I was completely clueless, okay?
Let's watch a game, any game. We pick of your choice. Just play. I want something recent. I want to see the. Let's see the difference.
Of what? My
Just
ISIS
no,
or
no, 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 no. Like just a
oh,
gameplay of
okay,
Retold.
okay. Yeah.
Pick a reasonable game.
Yeah.
Go to the that one. Okay, go.
Me versus Recon, no?
Okay, fine. Let's see. This is on
Oh,
step. It's like the best map for this type of aggro, though.
yeah. I mean, I was playing Poseidon Mirrors with Quoth, and we were non-stop fighting for like 4 games in a row.
Let's see that then. Let's watch that. Or do you want to watch this?
Can It's up to you, whichever one you want. Poseidon mirror or this?
You pick. It doesn't matter. Let's just watch this. It's already loaded. Let's just
Yeah.
watch it. No, like watch what you're watching. It's okay.
So he's opening up
Just-
aggro, and I'm scouting to see if he's gonna go TC or if he's gonna
Mhm.
go aggro, and then I'll just respond.
But I think this is the most aggro map in the game, though, right?
Yeah, I love this map. It's so
Yeah.
fun. So like in Legacy, I guess people would just go to the middle and fight, right? For no reason.
Yeah. Map control meant a lot back then, though,
It
because we
does
were
here
outside of
too,
our base
right?
hunting.
Yeah.
Not to the same degree, because all your food is in your base. You don't have to leave. Like, look, all your villagers are in your base right now.
I
I
would
guess you
be
can raid your
here.
berries. Hmm?
I would be here anyway. I would be on goats if not these, to be honest, because I'm not gonna go out quite yet.
I hope we got Red Bull for Retold. It'll be so much fun.
Yeah, all tournaments
If there's
should be
like,
good. I mean,
if we get a land, like 8-player, like AOM land, that would be fun.
oh yeah, that'd be cool. Are you playing this next tourney?
No, the Yodezla one, no.
Is it
You?
because it's too long? Nah, probably not.
It's way too long. 2 months. I can't do it.
I mean, you'd only be playing 1 month. You
Why?
know that,
No,
right?
it's still 2 months. We
No,
checked it.
you don't play the qualifier. The qualifier is 1 month, and you're already in the group stage, right?
I think we checked it. It was still a month and a half or something.
Uh,
The group stage is like, I think you have to play 4 times or 5 times, right? Wait, 4 different. Yeah, no.
Oh,
There's 5 people in a group, right? Or
I
4.
don't. I never checked her. I just assumed you go to the playoffs right away if you're invited. There is
Someone
no
said there's no
qualifier.
qualifier.
What? Yeah. It's a lot of
Back and
back and
forth.
forth.
I don't know. This is not really. No one's fighting though. You just,
I mean,
poking and prodding, right?
but that's what we're doing. You know, that's what we should
Okay,
be
here we
doing.
go. Now no, because the thing what's gonna happen is you take one big fight. When someone loses, the game will be over. That's what I think. Well, let's see. In AOM, the other one, if you take one big fight, you lose. The game is not over. Here you both know that one bad fight and the game is done.
I mean, it's like it's close, no? It's looking super close, and we keep taking small fights. Do you see that?
Yeah.
It's about who's like playing it better here, or more like losing less.
Oh, why is Recon fighting on this grass thing? There's no way to win, right?
No, you can't
On this
win.
grass.
No.
I don't think
See,
you can be aggressive still.
there I fucked up, but then I
Yeah.
recovered.
Okay, yeah, this one is a good game, I would say.
It's all
And now look,
matchup and map, right?
I mean, I still don't think it's at the same extent. Like
Okay.
one loss, and the game is over.
Wait, let me see if I can find the cloth, one of the cloth mirrors. Those were like hella. Let's see. This one. Yeah. Those a waste as well. So a safe map. Usually you would go TC here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was funny. This day, me and him, we did like 3 or 4 Poseidon mirrors, and we kept evolving each game. And like I did something, he copied it. He did something, I copied it, and in the end, we timed like everything was like similar in timings. You know, basically
Mm-hmm.
scripted it out eventually after each game. Like, double stable and then an armory. I'm sure he's gonna throw down an armory soon, and then we start fighting. Like you see, non-stop fighting. Look, we're getting the winged messenger same time. our Pegasus meets in the. See how, like, it's so telegraphed at this point. We're doing the same exact thing.
Yeah.
He's
I
throwing
mean, I
down his
don't.
armory. You heard my armory, right? It just came up and is throwing his up right now. It's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
And now we're just looking for fights, small fights, skirmishes, right?
This is good. This is what I want more of.
It's all matchup and map.
But then again, like you guys are fighting over really nothing at this point because all the villagers are on your base anyways, right?
Hmm.
So
But
what are we fighting over?
we're fighting over that little military edge, getting the numbers up, right? Each kill is a victory because you can heal, and a dead unit can't heal, right? So any
Mm.
picks are important
Well,
for the big
let's
fight.
let's say you just sat in your base and you just kept on making Hippias and he came to you. Like where would the now there's a point to fighting, right?
Hmm. So
But
I
before.
ran out of gold, so I know who's gonna run out of golden too. So we're now gonna. It's about who picked off the most units up until now, right? Who played it better in the skirmishes up until this point, where the big fight is gonna happen. And since I had this slight edge in picking stuff off, I was able
Mhm.
to have more numbers, and he was out of position.
Oh yeah, you're purple. Okay.
Yeah,
And you have the centaurs. You didn't.
centaurs are useless here.
The AOE is good, no?
They're look at the pierce armor, 46. This is no damage. This is just fighting. This is like the Oranos mirror you just had on Oasis.
But after this battle, the game will be over, right?
It, yeah, because you can't realistically win
See,
from here.
that's the thing is like in our games, the game wouldn't be over if one person lost his army. It would just be an edge, right?
But how wouldn't it be over? If it's a mirror matchup, it is over. If you both are doing the same thing and one person loses a skirmish and loses 4 to 5 units, now that person is down 4 to 5 units for the rest of the game. So it is a significant advantage. You know what I mean?
It is an advantage, but it's not. But the thing is, like here, you won the fight, right? You won the fight, and
Hmm.
since you won the fight, you're gonna withhold like what an extra 10 units, 15 units over your opponent. So you just simply have to a move and win. Whereas if you win the fight and you only like had a 4 or 5 unit edge, then the opponent could still make some moves and come back.
He could if I was vulnerable to, if I left myself open, which he didn't attempt. Right? He didn't make
I
an
mean,
attempt to try to hit me here or here, anywhere here.
I
He
don't think he
just
can come back at all. Like once you get an
no.
advantage that big, hmm?
It's not even that. Doesn't have to be that big. As small as 2 to 3 hippies is enough to snowball it into a win in a matchup like this. Because one
I don't
one
think.
single
I don't think.
unit.
I mean, if it's 2 to 3 hit pieces, I don't think it's gonna give you an edge, sure, but I don't think you'd be able to win immediately. That's the point. Right here, you win immediately.
Have
That's
you
the
ever
only difference.
tested 10 versus 9 units and
No, no, I'm
then
not disagreeing on that. I'm
yeah.
saying that okay, let's say you have you won the fight in the middle, you have an extra 3 units.
Mm-hmm.
You march your army over to your opponent's base. Well, he might have he might be have like a if he had like a defender's advantage, he's repopulating directly into the fight. And even if he had some static D there, then the game wouldn't be over, right?
Yeah. I mean,
That's what I mean, yeah. But if you have 15 extra hippies, then there's no amount of defender's advantage that can come back from that.
no, it's about picking. But you remember the small fights that led up to this big fight? That's basically what happened in this game. Lots of fights constantly from the start all the way here. And
Hmm.
attempts at trying to, I was here, he was here. He was trying to get some picks, I was trying to get some picks. A lot of back and forth like that. And in the end result, whoever got the most picks ended up taking a fight in the middle because of the second gold, and that's where it ends, right? This is how Norse mirrors are always played.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Just
I just think
matchups.
hmm?
Just
I just
comes
think
down to it.
it could be better if well, I don't think they're gonna change. But let's say if they did, like, change the population limit from one whatever it is right now, 175 to like 140 per se. I think, and then Havoth lost that fight in the middle of the map. I think he would be able to stay in the game for, maybe survive for a couple extra minutes, get a good pick off on your units, or get a good raid off, and then the game could restart at that point. But here, there's virtually no chance of it restarting.
Mm, I don't. Even if it was like, let's say it was at 130 pop, I would be popped at this point. I would force a fight.
Hmm.
So either he gives up his gold mine and doesn't mine gold, or he just loses everything anyway. So I don't think population here is the thing. I think it's just a mirror matchup thing, right? Mirror matchups are like this. It's the small
I don't
things.
know. Let's say that fight in the middle. Let's say
Mm,
that go back there. Let's say you won with half of those units, right? And then what are you gonna do? You're gonna march all those units to no, why are you restarting it?
you can't. The game was over.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, if you won, let's say if we lowered the population cap and you won that fight with
Less
half of the
units.
remaining units, right? Huh?
Yeah, less units.
Yeah, less units, and then what are you gonna do? You're gonna go to straight to his gold mine, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What if he just like makes prodrome? Well, he's in H2 or 3 at that point,
H2.
2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's say he has 5 stables and he makes like 5 hippies there, and then he fights with a couple of villagers. Do you think he would be dead at that point, or you think he can survive?
I think he'd still be dead.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think he would be able to survive a little bit longer.
Because remember, there's like optimal play, right? If the optimal play is to not actually push there after a win like that, instead you back off and jump to heroic and try again after you use the ceasefire and try again with bronze, then you win anyway, right? It's just a little bit later.
Yeah, but there's time there between you doing all that and right, and they give your opponent time, and who knows what your opponent can do at that time. If he gets one good pick off on your villagers or your units, it could be a completely different game, I think.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but realistically, like achieving a game state like that for something like that to be able to be done, it's on like a consistent basis. I don't know how you would ever be able to do that.
Yeah, but I mean, if everyone agrees that that is a more enjoyable method of playing the game, I think we should strive to continuously aim for that as well, right?
I mean, it all depends on how it's achieved. Is it through less food in the base? I definitely don't think so. I am not a fan of it, by the
Wait,
way.
pause for a sec. Pause for a sec. I think he just lost the game kind of right there as well. He accidentally moved. He moved to your side of the map,
Hmm.
and he just lost a ton of units and lost a ton of HP on his hippiest just because he moved incorrectly. No.
Yeah,
And do you think a game should end as a result of that? Don't you think that's kind of very unforgiving?
it's just the nature of a mirror matchup. Any other matchup, and it wouldn't have been as impactful as it is in this specific one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I still feel like if that happened and the population limits were lower, I don't think it would have been as impactful.
But let's say realistically, we were both at 115 out of 115. How much was legacy? Wasn't it 115? We were both basically full pop here in terms of legacy.
It's not about this one though, right? It's about that you're gonna continuously amass a ton of units from this point onwards, no?
And you're saying,
And
okay, he could just pull back and try to get to 115 again.
yeah, I think if you're both stuck at 115, then you don't have the leverage to end the game,
Mm.
right? Because now you're at 112. So okay,
Yeah.
you're at 112. You're gonna add one extra hippias, and you're gonna move across the map. And he's at 105. He's gonna maybe have a slight deficit in population, but it's not gonna be enough for you to win the game.
hmm
Let's
So
just keep playing. Let's
it's
see.
it's
Huh?
not enough for me. And like, let's say they swapped it to 115, 115, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't push. I would simply go back, go mythic, go
Yeah,
heroic, and
yeah.
push there.
Agreed. Yeah. So like by doing that, now you opened up the game to more counterplay, right?
Yeah.
Now he has more options. The game is not over, so maybe he can make a really good move and come back from that point onwards. You just gave more time.
Yeah, I can see your point, and I agree. I've always said it. It's population that makes this game the way it is, and this
Yeah,
is the proof. The way this game plays out is kind of proof, right?
yeah. And I don't think population is something they're going to change because I think the casual community likes it a lot more.
Yeah.
So I think the only way to compensate for a population is stronger static D, and then I mean I guess you
Uh,
don't want that because you want to be able to raid. But I'm telling you, like if they opened up the map more and they put less food in the base and stronger static D at that point, I think there would still be a lot more raiding than there is now.
wouldn't it just turn into AoE4 where everyone has a tower on their resource? Because you're
You're gonna
investing, you're
but
gonna invest. Yeah, you're going to invest into towers, right? But it's gonna pay itself off if it's a valuable resource like food.
yeah, but you remember you're min maxing as well, right? So you're gonna
Mhm.
say, okay, if I can save one tower and my opponent makes a tower, then I'm that much closer to a town center, and that's a massive edge, right? So both players are not gonna want to make towers.
Another thing which you might not realize is how much of a difference goats make.
Hmm.
Like, you remember that game we just had on Yellow River?
Yeah,
I yoinked all your goats. You had 3
yeah,
goats.
I know, I saw, and that's not. I think that's. I don't know if that's a. I think maybe that is a scouting thing on my end because I scouted very aggressively with my priest, and I should have scouted more defensively and just taken my side of the goats.
I agree, yeah.
But yeah, that is a big issue as well.
Yeah, so like, how do you balance it around? Let's say you lower the pop now, okay? But now
Hmm.
one person got to 20 goats and you're with 3. You lose the game by default then.
I don't think that I think the goat thing is not win by default because
No, no,
even
no.
in AoE
In
four,
in
huh?
our case, in our game, it didn't really matter as much because there is so much hunt on the map, right? On say
Hmm.
safe hunt. But in
Hmm.
this case, in a game like this, where it's like Oasis, low hunt map with tons of herdables, it matters a lot.
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
So it
Um,
would be GG just based off of that.
but I don't think that would happen in a normal game, right? That discrepancy because like that happened in that game because of my I didn't scout properly. But in a normal game, I don't think that would ever happen.
Yeah, probably not. It would more so be like at best one person gets 15, the other one gets like 8.
Yeah, and that part I think is that you can make something happen in that scenario.
Yeah, there's always room for outplay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I think we agree on most things. I don't really see much disagreement on our parts. So
No, just misunderstandings here and there.
yeah,
This was very fun. Glad to have you here. Thank you for the
yeah,
convo.
it was a good combo. We should have more like these. It was
Yeah,
fun.
they're always fun. I
Maybe the next time we do the patch review together.
Yeah, sure, why not? That could be
Okay, let's
fun.
do it.
Alright.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send them
Okay,
over
man.
to you. Have a good stream, bro.
Yeah, see you, man.
See you there. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you everyone for watching the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it.